Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to give you a full tour of my wall of fame. That's where I proudly hang the laser engraved canvases I've made over the last few months. Now, I didn't just throw a few nails in the wall and call it good. I built a French cleat wall system. It is versatile, strong, and frankly awesome way to get organized while keeping things flexible and clean looking. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how and why I built it, from concept to construction, and all the nitty-gritty tips in between. So why a French cleat? Simple. It is strong, it is modular, and honestly, it just works. I have used the French cleat system before in the shop to organize tools, jigs, and everything in between. Every time, I'm impressed by how much it simplifies rearranging things. This time, I wanted to put that flexibility to use in a more aesthetic and inspirational way, to proudly display my laser engraved canvas projects. As I was painting and prepping the backer board, I started thinking about where ideas like this even come from. For me, a lot of it starts with curiosity. That question of what if, or could I make this better? That's usually enough to get me rolling. If you're new to the concept of a French cleat, well, it is just a piece of wood cut at a 45-degree angle. One piece mounts to the wall, the other one goes on the object you want to hang. The two pieces interlock, letting gravity and the angle do all the work. This method has been used in woodworking shops and cabinetry for centuries because it's simple, sturdy, and repeatable. You can really hang just about anything, from small frames to heavy cabinets, and move them whenever you want to without re-drilling holes. Let's talk about the actual build. I started with a 3 1/4 plywood backer panel. I primed it, painted matte black, and mounted it to my cinder block garage wall using screws and anchors. The black drop gives the nice visual contrast against the natural wood cleats and makes the artwork pop. Now, if I'm being honest, not all of this came from a grand plan. Some of it came from just needing to get my things done. My wife said the garage was looking more like a storage shed than a workspace, and she had a point. So this became both a functional upgrade and a personal challenge. Could I make something that looks good and works hard? For the cleats, I ripped down some leftover pine on the table saw, cutting them at a 45-degree bevel. While pine works fine and looks nice and natural, I guess, I would definitely recommend plywood if you're planning to make a lot of cleats. It's just more dimensionally stable, resists warping, and it's often easier to work with in long sections. To install the cleats, I use a combination of brad nails and screws. Brad nails held things in place while I drove in screws for a more permanent hold. I always say that DIY is just a structured trial and error. There's a lot of, well, let's see what happens if I do this involved. You never get it right the first time, but eventually you stand back, look at what you built, and think, yeah, this was well worth it. Now here's where it gets a little nerdy, in the best of ways, of course. It's fun. I designed custom hangers on paper, thinking to use some of that 3 mm plywood I use for other projects. Once I had the general concept on paper, I moved the party to SketchUp. I went through 2 versions until settled for the one that I liked the most. The main idea was to keep the design simple, easy to assemble, and strong. I attached these miniature French cleats to the wall and hang the engravings using some hot glue and twine. This is very rudimentary, I know, but as I'm always in testing mode, this was my approach. The beauty of laser cutting is you can batch this out with incredible accuracy, and they all fit identically. These cleats could also be used in the future to highlight a rotating supporter from my Patreon or YouTube members page. Just a little nameplate that slides into the wall of fame alongside the artwork. It might be a fun way to say thanks to those helping support the channel. Speaking of, a big thank you to all of you. We just hit 2,000 subscribers and I tell you, I couldn't be more grateful. Whether you've been here since the first engravings or you just happened to click on the video today, you're part of a growing community of curious, creative people. I appreciate every view, every comment, and every like. And if you want to support the channel and get more behind the scenes content, project previews, and exclusive posts and other perks, I've set up both a YouTube membership and a Patreon page. They have the same member content, same tier, just pick whichever platform works best for you. Different tiers offer different perks, from shoutouts to voting for the next video, free build plans, and cheat sheets to reference back when you're ready to work on your own builds. As they say, there is something for everyone. So join me on YouTube or find me on Patreon and help me grow this little community of ours. Oh, and I also have affiliate links in the description for many of those tools and materials that I use. If you click one and make a purchase, it helps the channel out at no extra cost to you. So again, thank you so very much, truly. At the end of the day, I think inspiration shows up when you're in the middle of things like this. You know, you're in the middle of the build, you got sawdust flying all over the place, you got a mess going on, twines here, everything is in problem-solving mode. And when it all comes together, especially when it works better than expected, that's when you really feel like this is rewarding. That's why I love projects like this. You get both a result and a story behind it. But let's talk about the pros and cons of this setup, because like any good project, it's got both. On the plus side, French cleats are strong, like surprisingly strong, and super stable. Once they're up, they're not going anywhere. They're also incredibly modular, which is a huge win for someone like me who loves to rearrange things. You can hang just about anything, move it around, tweak the layout, etc. There are no extra holes in the wall, no hassle. And with just a basic set of tools, anyone can build one. It is especially great if you're working with concrete or cinder block or block walls where traditional anchors can get a little tricky. Now, for the flip side, this system does take some planning. Your cuts have to be accurate, especially with that 45-degree angle, and you need to level things out carefully. Your entire wall depends basically on that first cleat being dead on. It also sticks out a bit from the wall, so if you're really tight on space, it might not be ideal. And honestly, if you're just hanging one thing and never plan to move it, there are simpler ways though. But if you want something flexible, solid, and satisfying to build, French cleats are hard to beat. Stick to a 45-degree cut for universal compatibility. Don't panic if you go 45.1 or 45.2, but make sure all of them are consistent. Always level your first cleat. Everything follows from there. Consider your spacing. 6 to 12 inches between rows is ideal. In my case, I went with 2.5 inches because I wanted to use it exclusively for canvases or smaller boxes like what I have behind me. Don't trust your garage walls. Shim if you need to. Use a spacer to keep your cleats evenly apart. Cut the tip of the 45-degree angle to keep dust and debris from accumulating and messing with your cleats fit. You don't need a full-blown pro shop to pull off a French cleat wall, but a few key tools make a big difference. You will want a table saw or a circular saw with a bevel feature to get those consistent 45-degree angles. A drill or driver, well, they're both essential, and while a brat nailer is optional, it really speeds things up when you're positioning cleats. You will also need plenty of screws, and if you're mounting to a cinder block or cement wall like I did, some tack-on anchors will do the trick. A good level, or better yet, a laser line, will keep everything looking sharp. And if you're planning to get a little geeky like I did, a laser cutter opens the door to custom hangers and nameplates to add a clean, professional touch. This is a game changer for anyone with a small garage, tight workspace, or a desire to keep things tidy without breaking the bank. If you love to organize, rearrange things, or just want your space to adapt with you, French cleats are the way to go. I hope this video gave you some inspiration, whether it is for your own French cleat wall or just to try something new. A huge thanks to all of you who support me and the channel. Like I said, we are at 2,000 subscribers, which is crazy, incredible. Don't forget the affiliate links below for those tools and materials that I use. And if you'd like to access those behind the scenes content and extra perks, you can join as a YouTube member or check out my Patreon page. Whatever works best for you. If you learned something new today or got inspired, hit that like button. It lets YouTube know this video is worth sharing with other DIYers. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more content on laser engraving, CNC, woodworking, garage hacks, and other creative madness. Have you built your own cleat system? Got questions about this one? Drop them in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts or help you get started. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next project. So long!